yourself one question. Am I a doer or a dabbler? Marketers are doers. They want to sell online and make a profit doing it. Marketers say they make it hard at times, but it's possible. Dabblers say it may be possible, but it's too hard. Marketers have proven plans and frameworks. Dabblers have excuses. Marketers see possibilities. Dabblers see problems. Marketers make it happen. Dabblers let it happen. Marketers sell on Launchcart. Dabblers exist on other platforms. Which are you, a marketer or a dabbler? I am a marketer.
All right. How's everyone doing out there? Are you a marketer or are you a dabbler? Go ahead, put in the chat box if you're a marketer or a dabbler. Give us a thumbs up, like this, share this, comment this. Let the world know that we are live. Everyone's piling in. We're streaming on 8 different platforms to make this announcement. I see, look, there's Mr. Rajesh Berry, and there's Lee, and there's Joel, and there's Carlene, and there's Andre. The room is filling up. I see a lot of marketers out there. That's what I'm talking about. Lori's like, I'm a marketer, all capital letters. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, so we're excited. We got some exciting news happening today. And I'm just going to give it another minute for people to come on. I do like to start on time, as you guys know. So here we are, 12 o'clock straight up at the hour. And we've had hundreds and hundreds of people register for this. And again, as a dreamer, as an entrepreneur, here's the thing. We're making history today. Now, no matter what we say, no matter what we do, we're making history, right? But we are making history today. And so, you know, one of the things that I always talk about in my mindset moments and kind of what I do is, you know, you have to have dreams, you have to have visions. As an entrepreneur, we solve problems and we fix things. And you are going to hear some stuff today, how we're going to fix some issues, fix some challenges, fix some problems. And we're going to disrupt the e-commerce landscape globally. And we're going to create a new category called on-demand e-commerce. And we're going to share with you today how this is going to work, what's going to happen. We're going to show you the technology live, and we're going to blow your mind. Okay, that's what this is all about. So I want to say thank you to everybody for joining us. And on top of that, we have some special guests that are going to be here and joining us and getting things going. So here's what we're going to do. So let me go to my slideshow real quick, just to give you guys, here's the agenda. We're announcing today for immediate release that Launchcart has signed a letter of intent to acquire Exchange Collective, Inc. And that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about what Exchange Collective is, what they have, what they've accomplished, and then what the two of us, our two companies together, can achieve together. And so the agenda is, we're going to start off by, I'm going to introduce you to Bernt Ullmann. And Bernt is one of my partners. He's also the CEO of Celebrity Lifestyle Brands, which is going to be an integral part of the future of what we're doing now that we have this acquisition happening. And Bernt's going to share a few words of wisdom about the significance of what we've put together and where we're at. And then I'm going to introduce you the CEO and co-founder of Exchange Collective. And then he's going to go through a presentation and an overview of what Exchange Collective is. Then we're going to discuss the integration and the future of this partnership and what it means to you, everybody on this call and everybody listening. And then Jeff Barnes, one of our lead, our lead investor, the CEO of Angel Investors Network, is going to come on and make some comments regarding him being the very first investor in our situation, and maybe talk a little bit about the crowdfunding campaign. And then we're going to open up for Q&A. So that's the agenda. And with that being said, let's go ahead and roll right into it. And let's see if we can start here. So I'm going to do this real quick. So let me come back to here. I have to introduce our next partner, Bernt Ullmann, properly. So I can't even do it justice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a video do justice for me. So here we go.
It starts with building what we refer to as brand equity. Brand equity is kind of the value of your brand. Right. And why I like that so much is that is actually allowing you to build wealth. So now you're working on your business, but you're building wealth because this property, the brand in and of itself, has a value. And that means that if you so desire, down the line you can have an exit. You now have a tangible asset and you can sell it. If you are just working day to day and doing business, there's nothing there to sell. If you're not there doing it, it's not happening. There is no business. There's nothing for you to sell. So brand equity equals wealth.
But I want to acknowledge my buddy here, Bernt Ullmann, who took my company from 100 million to 400 million globally. Bernt's no longer with me. He's out there running brand for J-Lo and Mark Anthony, but the man is a genius. This guy's a powerhouse. Say hello to everybody. Hello, everybody. All right, there you go.
Right. So I got to tell you, I'm always humbled and honored and grateful to have this man with us. Let me bring him to stage, Mr. Bernt Ullmann. How you doing, Bernt?
I am great, Greg. How are you? Hello,
loving
everybody.
life, man.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
So I know that you only have a few minutes. Your time is extremely limited today, and you're back in the East Coast. But could you just share, as the CEO of Celebrity Lifestyle Brands and the parent company of LaunchCart, the #1 shareholder of LaunchCart, as well as a co-founder of LaunchCart with myself, I want you to kind of share some of your thoughts about how significant this is, this agreement to acquire Exchange Collective and plug it in and get going on what we call as our source and sell marketplace and kind of our vision long term and what that means to our brand equity that you just talked about. So I'll let you take it away from there and you can go from there.
Yeah. So thank you so much. And I will do that, but I have to start with something a little different, because whenever we address investors, Greg, we always talk about risk mitigators, right? And I think before I just go into the excitement around the Exchange Collective and the acquisition, I want to just say, I think at this point, the biggest risk mitigator in the room is Greg Ryder. Phenomenal job, Greg, on both the vision for LaunchCart and bringing Exchange Collective to the table and seeing this acquisition through. I think it's just amazing. And I think it's well worth for the audience to note that in a world full of kind of feeble leadership, we have everything but that. So that's #1. But now to go into what you're asking, brand equity is kind of the value of your brand in the mind of the consumer. And what's so powerful about brand equity is that brand equity brings incremental value to what you do. It allows you to actually do better transactions. And with the addition of Exchange Collective, it will enhance the LaunchCart family of brands and our LaunchCart universe or launch universe. And it will actually allow us to do better transactions, because what we have built with LaunchCart, which is amazing, it is to a large extent, first and foremost, geared towards entrepreneurs. It is a phenomenal vehicle for creators to monetize their following, their vision, to build their own business, be independent businessmen and women. And for that, it's amazing. It is not necessarily equally easy at this stage of the game to go to large branded players and tell them that they should leave or walk away from their established relationships and instead switch to Launchcart. And with Exchange Collective, I find that we have now a vehicle where you don't have to have that conversation at this point. It will be completely organic. And instead, it is a tremendous opportunity for us to now engage with the larger brands, which we have many relationships with, and start putting them into, again, our ecosystem of brands and businesses. So I see it as being very valuable and highly accretive.
Well, thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that. And I'm really excited because this vision came, as you know, back in 2018, 2019, and the idea that we want to disrupt this dropshipping industry. And I remember you and me talking about, the direct to consumer, right? Direct to consumer. And I'm like, why aren't real brands getting in this dropshipping world? Why are we having to source products from China? And can you touch on that conversation we had where you talked about getting paid, getting the customer data, and protecting their brand? And then we will share, as we share today's technology, how we're going to accomplish those things that you coached me on and mentored me on what we needed to do to attract real brands.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, the biggest fear, quite frankly, for all big brands, they are not firstly concerned about making another buck. Quite frankly, the number one concern when you're dealing with established brand is, again, what we talked about, brand equity. They are looking to protect the downside because they have built a big business already. They have made massive investments into this business. And their biggest fear is that they make a step that somehow damages that brand equity. We've seen plenty of examples recently of brands misstepping, primarily through campaigns, aligning with demographics that are not sharing core values with the core demographic. For instance, a well-known beer company comes to mind, and we have seen what can happen when you do that. And similarly, all big brands are fearful. So, for instance, if we just were to have a marketplace, and you have a luxury brand, and someone has started their own e-commerce shop, and it's called Groovy Grandmas. And while the people behind Groovy Grandmas may be great people, a luxury brand may not want their products to be sold at Groovy Grandmas because it could actually damage the position of the brand in the mind of the consumers. So it would damage the brand equity. So that is one of the bigger reasons. And then when you're dealing with talent, they too are very, very concerned about their brand equity. In addition, they need ease. It needs to be seamless because there is a lot of demand on their time. And I find that I feel we have solved for those, the protections and the simplicity of operation. So we're checking a lot of boxes now, being able to attract a whole different level of branded operator, whether those celebrities or the big established brands. And Greg, as you know, because we have had those meetings, there are certain brand management companies out there, and they have portfolios of 30, 40, and 50 brands. And we have those relationships with the CEOs at the highest level of those companies. So with the product now, like the Exchange Collective or Source and Sell Marketplace, we have the ability to re-engage with all those people and bring them into, again, our brand universe.
Now, that's what's so exciting about this. And so my last question I'd love you to comment on is, that my background, and I actually, a lot of people don't know this, but I wrote the book, Saving America One Crowd at a Time, back in 2015. It was one of the very, very first books on crowdfunding when they changed the laws. And I love the fact that we can democratize and we can allow the small investor to invest in something that could be significant through crowdfunding. And for those of you who don't know, we recently launched a crowdfunding campaign on a crowdfunding platform called Net Capital. And you can go there. We can't share any of the terms on these calls. You have to go there and get all the terms and all that kind of stuff. But we'll share that link with everybody, and you can become an investor. So let's give us your comments on that idea of the crowdfunding and allowing people to invest in our company and what that means to us, and the benefits to them and to us. And then we'll let you go. You can hang around as long as you can and listen to Dave in the presentation, but I know you got other business to attend to.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And yes, I am highly enthusiastic about the crowdfunding campaign. I think that crowdfunding as a concept was created exactly for situations like ours. So here you have, as we said, and Greg, I'm sure you will cover this in more detail through the presentation. We have a number of risk mitigators. We have a highly skilled management team. We have an incredibly viable idea. We're in a marketplace that is booming and is set to boom even more. Quick kind of little sidestep here. Most people don't know. However, we in the US, we're losing retail doors at the clip of an average of 8,000 stores per year in the last 4 or 5 years leading up to COVID. This trend was only accelerated through COVID. So what does that mean? It means that there will be fewer and fewer actual retail stores for brands to sell to. And it used to be in the olden days that if you wanted to bring any type of product to market, you had to go to the large brick and mortar retailers. And if they didn't embrace your products, you were out. You were locked out. This is obviously changed dramatically. The power has moved away from the large retailers into the hands of the people. So we are in the space now where the direct-to-consumer space, the e-commerce direct-to-consumer, it is a rapidly growing marketplace, and we are in a unique position to capitalize on that. And for us, the advantage by going out to and have a crowdfunding campaign, well, it allows us to have a number of brand ambassadors, because when you become an investor, obviously you will share, you'll tell your friends, and maybe they will tell their friends, and you'll tell your family. And all of a sudden, we just expand that network that becomes familiar with what we do and our vision for the direct-to-consumer space. So we get the bench of brand ambassadors, and obviously, I think for the investors, it's obvious. You get to join a massive trend under the leadership of a highly skilled and competent team. So I couldn't be more excited.
All right. Well, with that, Bernt, again, I'm grateful and humble to have you as my partner and on my team. So thank you very much, Bernt. We'll let you go. And if you can, and Dave's going to share some stuff that I know you know most of it, but you haven't seen some of it. So if you have to come back and watch the replay too.
Yeah, I may have to do that. So thank you again, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Greg, really appreciate it. I'm super excited. So
okay. Have a great day. Thank you very much, Bernt. Talk to you later.
You as well.
All right, everybody. So with that being said, it's time for the reveal. It's time to introduce my new partner. Boom, Mr. Dave Pankratz. Hey, Dave, thanks for being here and joining us.
Yeah, hey, Greg. It's nice to be here.
So we got a little production going on here, my little StreamYard and the stream going and Bernt coming on. So now it's time to pass the buck to you. Real quick, what's interesting, you and I met in a Rancho Santa Fe home that was probably a $7-8 million home at a little backyard party. And I was telling somebody what I wanted to do, that I have an e-commerce platform and I want to build a marketplace. And he says, well, if you met Dave, he's got a marketplace. And I remember meeting Dave, and Dave's like, yeah, we wanted to build an e-commerce platform. And this relationship has developed over a year now. It's got probably going close to a year and a half. And here we are, San Leverton. We finally have come to terms and agreed that we're better together than not. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to you. Tell a little bit about your background, then you can go through your slideshow and tell everybody what we got, and then we're going to keep this thing moving.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, thanks, Greg. And nice to be here in front of everyone. And yeah, just real quick, a little bit of my background. Been a marketer and a small business owner for a long time. Owned and operated retail, and like Greg, saw that the change in commerce was happening, and e-commerce especially. And so that's kind of what got us excited about building Exchange Collective and getting that going. And so. The cool thing is I co-founded it with my twin brother. So we've been business partners since almost the day we were born. So that's kind of an exciting, little bit about our company. It's been a family business as well. And so really to dive into it, the excitement, and Greg kind of touched on it, is that we built a marketplace technology. And we always, one of the challenges is, having a marketplace technology is great, but really having that front end e-commerce platform was always something that was a big desire of ours to really propel the capabilities of what we built, which we're going to walk through. And so this is really exciting for me. So, without any delay, I'll jump, going to jump in, walk you through a quick little presentation here. And again, what we built is really a single connection for both sellers and brands to increase their sales through direct to consumer. And the challenge has always been is that, as a brand, you're trying to connect to the consumer through so many different channels, whether it's, Walmart, eBay, Google, individual retailers, and building those connections usually is a one-to-one connection, or maybe you're connecting to a couple because, you're connecting to major marketplaces, but you're missing so many opportunities to touch the end consumer through different channels that just can't connect to you through the technologies that were available. So again, what we built is, for those brands, is that one connection. Well, it's the same thing for marketers and for brick and mortar retailers and online sellers and content sites. Connecting two brands and being able to source their products to be able to list and sell their products without having to stock and carry a huge warehouse full of inventory was really cost prohibitive. And so through the platform that we've built, it's one single connection for any of these sites, sites like people that are using, the goal is people using Launchcart, being able to connect now to this marketplace and source products from not just Chinese made products, and things from Alibaba, but actually authentic brands, like Bernt was talking about, that really mean something to the end consumer. And so now you become a much more powerful marketer or seller online because you're actually sourcing real products that have a brand name behind it, and brands that are really concerned with their brand image. So they're doing marketing as well that make their brands really valuable, so consumers are looking for them. And now you have the ability to sell them through one connection. You're sourcing many products through one connection. And so really kind of what it looks like is you're expanding your inventory without risk, you're monetizing your content, and you could be more than just an influencer. And really the examples is you may already have an online website that's stocking certain products from brands, but you can't carry everything from, say, a Billabong or a Quicksilver. And so with our platform, you can then expand that inventory offering. You can now carry, instead of 2 colors of a style, you can carry all 10 colors that they have. So when the consumer comes and looks and goes, oh, I see they have the black, but I really wanted the green or the orange, you now have that available to sell to your consumer because you're drawing them into your ecosystem. Likewise, monetizing your content. So not just even a retailer, an online retailer, you might be just a marketer who has a lot of traffic coming to your site and you're guiding the consumers into what to potentially purchase. Now you have the ability to list and sell those products to your consumer, monetizing your actual content and monetizing the traffic and the eyeballs that you own to your site. And then, of course, being more than an influencer. We talk about this, me and Greg, all the time, the power of influencers and people that are creating customers through the content that they've done, through whether it's through Instagram or whatever. Now you can monetize that by partnering with brands, and brands are going to want to partner with those really good marketers because they know those really good marketers they own the eyeballs. And so you can then partner with brands through the platform that already exist and start selling their products. And again, monetizing those eyeballs that come to your site. And we kind of talk about product-led growth as part of our thing, but this is just really an example of how the platform works. And Bernt touched on this. It's, brands want to control where their products live. You don't want, if you're a luxury brand, you don't want, what he said, Granny's website selling it.
he said groovy grandmas.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. And so from a brand perspective, the platform allows for that control. It allows them to activate and deactivate selling channels and sellers based on their relevance to that brand. And then likewise, a seller, you may not want to sell everything under the sun. You want to curate the right products that you're, or an influencer that you're touching. And so the platform has functionality within that you can actually request brand access. You can view their profiles, see what products they have, and then start to bring those into your store. And, again, as we talk about, kind of what we're doing already, obviously we're in market right now with our platform. We connect into Shopify and BigCommerce, but really with this launch cart integration, it's really going to take us to the moon with the ability to have that front end. Right now our platform unlocks over, $500 million worth of inventory that sellers can sell. And with this launch cart integration and with Bernt, we see that number going, 10x. And especially as we move into additional industries, we launched this. My background, I'm a surfer by trade, and I own surf, skate, and snowboard shops. And so we started within that marketplace because it was the people that we knew from a commerce perspective. But as you can hopefully understand, that this is applicable to any industry, whether it's golf, fashion, running, cycling, pet industry, whatever it might be. We can expand into any of those industries with this technology. So again, we're really excited about where this is going and the opportunities not only that we have as a company, but the people that use our platform. And I always kind of use this. Retail was always kind of like a raking through the grass, right? Trying to till up the lawn so you can grow something. Well, Launch Cart and Exchange Collective are a rototiller. We are going to allow you to grab a hold of this rototiller and really cultivate the land and cultivate your customers and sell more to them through these powerful tools. And once you get to know me, you know that I like analogies. So that's my farming analogy.
That's a good one. That's a good one. So let me do this real quick because I thought this would be a good little thing. Let me add my PowerPoint to stage. So this is my pitch deck, right? Where I say Launch Cart is developing, right? And we've been working on, and we've actually gone into beta our own source cell marketplace. But this acquisition of Exchange Collective is going to save us about a year and a lot of development time, but they already have over 100 brands. You know how long it would take for us to onboard 100 brands? That's time consuming. But just to show you kind of it from our deck is developing the source cell B2B marketplace that will allow brands and manufacturers to list their catalog of products for sale to sellers globally. So no matter where you are in the world, the idea is you can have access to sell these products and then allow niche marketplaces to be built on demand, which Dave's going to show you an example of that here in a minute. And then I'll go to my next slide. So the idea is no matter where you're sitting in the country, and I see a question from Mark Peters where Mark says, I'm very interested in funding, but I'd like to know more about your focus internationally and multilingual market. So we're going to answer all these questions for you, but the idea is we want to be global. And we want to be able, no matter where you're sitting in the world, you can go create a Launch Cart store and you can create an account, and then you can go to the source and sell marketplace and source products to sell from your Launch Cart store. And you'll be able to build stores in minutes, not hours, not days, right? And then the idea that we're doing, it's a little bit different too, is there's a split payment system, right? So when you come to Rescue Joe and you buy a product, we're also going to incorporate artificial intelligence and predictive analytics. So let's say you're shopping at Rescue Joe and you say, I want some of Rescue Joe's coffee, which is a drop ship coffee, and you want a t-shirt, which is a drop ship print on demand t-shirt. But then the predictive analytics says, hey, this person's looking for a French press. I don't have a French press. The technology goes to the marketplace, searches for a French press, goes, oh, we got a couple French presses. Would you like? And they add a French press in front of the buyer. The buyer says, yeah, I'll buy that gross French press. And then the idea is at the point of purchase, the split payment breaks out the money. This Rescue Joe gets a commission, and the money gets set aside for the manufacturer who's producing that product, right? And then the niche marketplace is on demand. This is just a graphical interface. He's going to show you a real one. But the idea would be, what website has traffic? A blogger, a podcaster, a news website, whatever that is, a niche website. And in this example, Golf Digest, right? They get 1.3 million visitors a month. They don't have an e-commerce store. but we know golfers buy Adidas and TaylorMade and Ping and Under Armour and Puma. We know golfers buy these products, right? Well, Golf Digest could go to each brand, go, hey, we want to create an e-commerce store. We'd like to have you guys drop ship products for us. We just want to get a commission. We got all the traffic. And they could go do that, but they're not going to, because there's a lot of work and a lot of integrations. So the idea is we'll go, and now that we have our partnership with Dave, we'll start working on onboarding these brands first quarter of next year. Golf is one of our top priorities to go after. We onboard the brands into the marketplace, then we can go to sites like Golf Digest, go, hey, we can build you a site, and click a button, there's Under Armour. Click a button, there's Ping. Click a button, there's Nike. Click a button, there's TaylorMade. And entire collections added in a matter of minutes, all tied to inventory management, all tied to supply side. And then the money flow goes back to the marketplace and then back to the respective brands. So, and then at the end of the day, in my deck, now this is all banking as a service slide, but speed, entire collections with a click of a button added to a launch cart store, entire stores built in hours. Payment, funds transferred to brands manufactured via the split payment system at the point of sale. Brand protection. We can, because we own Launchcart and because we own the marketplace, we can lock the titles, lock the descriptions, lock the photos, lock the prices to protect the brand. And I promise you, Shopify and Magento and BigCommerce are never going to let anybody do that to their platform. So that's what's going to give us the focus. And then, of course, we'll be able to share the data. What do brands want? They'd like to have that data. What blue shirt's selling and what red shirt's selling, and the data and the analytics will be off the chart. And our strategy is simple. We want to make it simple for launch cart sellers to build a store, source products on demand, and sell products on a drop ship basis. No inventory costs, no fulfillment headaches. And guess what? No banking and bookkeeping. It's all done for you. We're taking the payment out for you. You don't have to pay for anything. Make it simple for brands and manufacturers to offer products to sellers. So the integration into the marketplace and make it simple for them to get on board, which Bernt kind of alluded to. And then we're going to leverage data, analytics, machine learning, artificial intelligence to optimize the entire platform for both the brands and manufacturers and all the sellers. So I just thought it was just so cool that they built what my pitch deck talks about. It's just incredible. So this is exciting. So Dave, why don't you are you able to share your screen and show some examples, some real world examples of what you guys have done?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, and I meant to do that at the tail end of what I was sharing, but, again, here's an example, a good example of, a site, Surfline. They're a content site, cameras and forecasts for surfers, and they are not a e-commerce and online, e-tailer, if you will. But through our platform, they've been able to source the brands, they have the relationships with going, hey, look, we're building this store. We want to now be able to sell your products because we get millions of views a month. And so they have an entire store now. And, you can go through and all these brands are now able to list their products. And so Rip Curl, as an example, is able to list their products to their members, and they give a discount to their premium members. And so any of these products purchased, they add them to their cart. They add a Rip Curl item, and then they add a Billabong item, right? Our system grabs those orders, splits it out, ships directly to the consumer. And again, it's now capturing that consumer intent to buy within a non-traditional commerce setting, but where the eyeballs are and the consumers are living. And so this is a real world example of it, which we've been excited about, obviously being in the surf space. And I spend a lot of time staring at these cameras when I should sometimes be working. So that's, again, how the power of this. And again, I think one of the things to really touch on too is the exciting thing about our partnership is that, our integrations began with integrating into brands, whether it's direct through their ERP systems or through Shopify or through BigCommerce. And so now we can take those same integrations and pull those products, and maybe it's a Shopify, brand, but we're now able to take those products, and with our connection to Launchcart, if you're using Launchcart, you now can access those brands. So this isn't a singular, with a lot of things with Shopify, it's very enclosed, Shopify to Shopify. We've really expanded the capabilities across other platforms. And that's, I think, the beauty of kind of this integration and the merger of our two companies.
No, and that is significant, right? So you think about that, and let me see if I can. So Eric said, source and sales under development, who will onboard brands and products into your platform? So Eric, the source and sell is not in development anymore because we're acquiring Exchange Collective, and we're going to make that. Our programmers are already working on integration. We had a call with them today. Dave had a call with them yesterday. The programmers are integrating our two platforms right now as we speak, and we'll have this done by January 15th. Mid-January, we'll have the first version of this done. But the integration will get deeper and deeper and deeper. So what people ask me is, well, how are you going to onboard products? Well, let me ask you a question. If I go to Amazon Seller, and Amazon is made up of 5 million sellers, 5 million drop shippers. They find products in China, and they go list them on Amazon. They've got inventory, they got supply side, they got fulfillment, they got all that stuff set up. What if I said, hey, you want another channel of distribution? And we can allow people on LaunchCart to sell your product. Yeah, I do want another channel of distribution. We can click some buttons and export all of their products right out of Amazon, right out of Shopify, and eventually it'll be right out of any e-commerce platform in the world into the marketplace. Then set the permissions, going, okay, I want these kind of people to be able to sell, or I'll let anybody sell, or no, they have to apply to sell. We'll have all the permissions set up for them. And then boom, now those products are all made available. And then the order flow goes right back to the place that we sourced the products from in the first place. So it's this technology stack that's going to allow us to add, as Dave said, billions of dollars of inventory of real brands, of real products, that we don't have to worry about quality control with products coming from different countries. And I did a lot of drop shipping from China, and it was pretty significant. The quality control was a big deal. So really, really excited about how that works. And you know what?
Yeah, Greg, real quick, and again, just to follow up on that question that was asked, it's that Eric asked, which is a great question. But yeah, I mean, that's part of why we're doing this integration, is that we've built the source and sell marketplace. We have all the permissions built into our platform. I mean, you look at the example that we've already built, like brands are already utilizing this platform, creating product filters, applying them to different selling channels and all that, whoever they wanted to, and really controlling that kind of stuff. And which is really, kind of part of the foundation of what makes our technology so powerful for brands, and vice versa for retailers, or sellers being able to find those products. And Greg, if you don't mind, I saw another interesting question. If this process becomes so simple and expedited, won't it flood the market and saturate it even more quickly? That's a great question. We get that, somewhat asked all the time. But again, with, first of all, the World Wide Web being so massive, and there's customers, that it's only growing, what we see is within the years we've been doing this, and obviously through the ecosystems of Shopify and BigCommerce, is that we have a brand like, Volcom that uses our platform, and yeah, they may have 100 sellers, but each one of those sellers is touching a consumer in a different way. And we all shop online in different ways, or access things differently. So it's just giving more touch points to the brands. And again, with the control mechanisms that we're bringing in and the intentionality we have for commerce, that saturation, should be mitigated because of that, because it's all about, in one of the slides, allowing niche marketplaces to touch their consumer with products, So hopefully that kind of answers that a little bit. But I love that question because we get it all the time.
And let me kind of give you guys another little storyline, another analogy, right? So I was invited to invest in a company called Dirty Ghetto Kids, DGK. It was a streetwear brand. It was based out of Carlsbad. And this was 15, 20 years ago. How did they launch their brand? They went to every skateboard and surfboard shop on the West Coast and said, hey, here's our brand. Will you carry our brand? Will you carry our brand? Next thing you know, they have 100 retail stores, brands carrying their product. That's how they launched. And then, one day, one of those celebrities was wearing a hat. I can't remember his name. What was it? Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber was caught wearing a DGK hat, and then the brand blew up and went big online as well. But so the idea is we're duplicating in one vertical strategy this brick and mortar model. Let me give you an example. I'm holding in my hand the amazing Remarkable, and I actually love this thing. It's a digital notepad, right, called Remarkable. So let's say you invented a product. You invented the Remarkable, or you invented, you have your own little video camera you invented, or you invented something. You come to us and you say, hey, I see you guys got, this platform, this marketplace. How can you help me? And we say, Well, who's your avatar? Oh, my avatar is, people that love to take notes, or their businessman, their age group is this, this, they give us that avatar. And then we would be able to look in, let's fast forward a couple years from now and go, okay, we got a couple million sellers on the LaunchCart platform. And because we have the LaunchCart platform, we know the kind of databases, the data that's going through here, what they're selling. If they're selling fitness products, we know they're selling fitness products. If they're selling tech products, we know they're selling tech products. If they're selling, nutritional supplements, we know they're selling nutritional supplements, right? So we can look into our database, go out of our 2 million sellers, we have about 50,000 sellers that sell to your avatar. And then we can put your product in front of those 50,000 sellers. And let's just say 5,000, 10% of them go, man, I'd like to sell that Remarkable. That's a cool product. What's my commission? Oh, it sells for $300. I get $100 commission. Yeah, I don't have any inventory costs, no fulfillment headaches. Yeah, I'll put that in my store. They click a button, put it in their store, and now you have 5,000 retailers selling this product. They sell one a month, it's 5,000 sales. They sell 10 a month, it's 50,000 sales. It becomes significant. So that model is the brick and mortar model duplicated online. Now, for some people, they don't want to go mass market like that, but there's going to be the as seen on TV people and the people that make these inventions go, I'll let anybody sell my product. Whoever wants to sell it, let them sell it. And this idea that we're going to saturate the marketplace that's become busy, dude, there's too many people on the planet. There's too many billions of people shopping. It's just too big. And I've heard that over and over and over in the e-commerce t-shirt business going, well, he's got the same design as I have. Go on Etsy and look at how many people sell the same exact design of the same exact shirt. There's just too many people out there for us to worry about that. So that's pretty exciting. Hey, I noticed that Jeff Barnes, our lead investor, is on. And let me just in case he's busy, let's bring Jeff on and let Jeff make a few of his comments. And then we'll continue to ask some questions and go from there. Hey, Jeff, how's it going, man?
Going great. How are you guys doing?
Good. Hey, thanks for joining us. So Jeff has a real special place in my heart because when we had this vision of LaunchCart, he literally was the very first investor. He was our lead investor as the CEO of Angel Investors Network and also a fund called the Heroes. What was it called? The Heroes and
the Angel and Heroes Venture Growth Fund.
Oh yeah, the Angels and Heroes Venture Growth Fund. But then he did something that most people don't do. He also invested personally. So there's like 3 checks, right, or whatever. It's like so. That's amazing. So Jeff, thanks for joining us. I would love for you to give your comments on. You've been here from day one from LaunchCart as the lead investor. You're on our board of directors. You've watched us put this together, and have your insight as to the significance of this announcement and where we're going and what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me here, Greg and Dave. I'm really excited about this. Greg has been talking about this source and sell marketplace since the very beginning. And for those of you who don't know, my background is in technology, innovation. I happen to learn marketing because I realized that every business is a marketing business. And I built funnels on all the other platforms, lead pages and ClickFunnels and HighLevel and all these different things, right? And when I saw what LaunchCart was doing in the e-commerce space and having run dropshipping stores, doing e-commerce myself, I just was blown away with the vision that Greg had for where this was going to go. Not necessarily where it started, of course, but where it's going to go. And he's always been talking about the source and sell marketplace. And I just love that idea because if anyone is familiar with licensing or private label rights or things like that, that it's a multi-billion-dollar business all around the world. And for somebody to start up a business and want to go online and start creating a business, it's a really hard thing to create your own products and build your own products and then start selling your own products and doing all that. And the fact that Greg was prescient enough to realize that that was such a market that he wanted to tap into and bring those products to people who wanted to set up and start an online store all around the world using real brands was just incredible. So to see it coming to fruition here with Exchange Collective and what Dave and Dan have built is pretty amazing. I'm really excited about that. So I can't wait to see the future for what we do with the source and sell marketplace, with Exchange Collective, with all of these big brands. And you guys already met Bernt and saw his background. So imagine if you're able to start selling those really big, amazing brands. I used to give the example, I'm a motorcycle rider. And even though Harley isn't my favorite brand, they are the biggest motorcycle brand in the world in reality because of what they've done. Not necessarily because they're motorcycles, but look at everything else they've done, right? The patches and the hats and the leather jackets and the pants and stickers and all this sort of stuff that retails for way more than the exact same product without a Harley logo on it. Well, Harley doesn't own every single brick and mortar Harley location out there, right? They license their brand out. And so what Greg is doing is essentially allowing people to do the exact same thing with these real brands. So now you can take, for example, a Harley leather jacket. If you have a motorcycle shop, you can start selling Harley if they approve you inside of your own store with a few clicks of the mouse, and you're off to the races. Like, that is a really profound thing to be able to do. And so I'm really excited about what this is going to do. And I can't speak highly enough for Greg and the team and the work ethic for what they've been building and putting together here. That's why I was the original investor. That's why I'm the lead investor. That's why I brought our fund in. That's why I brought other people in. I've traveled with Greg going to different events and meeting other investors and talking about this opportunity. I really do believe in not just the product and the idea, but the team behind it that is just pushing. Most of you guys don't see it, but 12, 16, 20-hour days sometimes to roll out new product updates, working around the clock, working on weekends, fixing bugs wherever they come up, and just making this product even more unbelievable than it was initially, and making it so that people can get online and start selling quickly and easily. And it's really fun to watch this thing grow, and I'm really excited for the next steps.
Real quick, give us your comments on your thoughts on crowdfunding.
Oh, on crowdfunding. Yeah, we completely forgot about that. So, when the Jobs Act came out in 2012, the Jumpstart Our Business Startups Act, and the idea was originally, hey, let everybody invest in all these businesses. But there were so many loopholes and things that changed along the way that made it difficult for us to get that going. And so, like Greg said, he was the original author of Saving America One Crowd at a Time. And I run Angel Investors Network, and we deal with a lot of companies that are doing crowdfunding. And the reason that crowdfunding has become so popular these days is because there are a lot more people who are not accredited investors than there are accredited investors, right? So if you're not aware, an accredited investor is someone that has $1 million net worth or beyond, excluding their primary residence, right? So if you own a $3 million house and it's free and clear, but that's the only asset you have, you're not technically accredited. So that eliminates a vast majority of the population. Well, the challenge with that is that, I won't go into all the details about how this came out, but the best investment opportunities are not available to the average Joe, to the average Jane, to the average person who wants to invest in these private deals. And that precludes a lot of people from being able to invest. Well, along comes the crowdfunding portals and these sites that allow us to then offer the security, right? Which is what it's called. It's a security. It's an investment in a company. It's a security, so that anybody can start investing in a company for as little as a few $100. And that is something that's literally changing the game for average investors. So whereas a lot of the companies that I've worked with in the past, the minimum investment is maybe $50,000 or $500,000. In some cases, $5 million to invest. That eliminates 99.9% of the human population, right? It just makes it so that most people cannot invest in these companies that ultimately go on to become massive successes and generate 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 times returns for those early investors. Well, crowdfunding is an opportunity for people to get in it, maybe $50 or $500, and put a little bit of money into it and see where it's going to go. Now, is it going to make you a multi-billionaire? Probably not, right? But can an opportunity like LaunchCart that has maybe 100 or 1,000x upside give you the opportunity to invest at a much lower amount? Yes. And you're never going to see those kinds of deals coming from a financial advisor, a financial planner, anybody like that, because, well, they're not licensed to sell those things. So crowdfunding is an opportunity for somebody to get in on the ground floor of an opportunity like LaunchCart, and at a very low valuation, right? So a low valuation, you can find that out on NetCapital's site for LaunchCart right now, and then watch the company grow. Okay, so for those of you who are not familiar with investing in startups, which is what we do at Angel Investors Network, you may not be aware of this, but you can buy a stock for a public company, let's say a Coca-Cola or a Microsoft or something like that. You can go out and you can buy a stock for any of those companies on the stock exchange, or from a broker, or through a mutual fund. You can't do that with startups. That's where crowdfunding portals have changed the game and allow us to then go and essentially buy stock in private company. Now, it's a little bit more complicated than that, but I don't want to overcomplicate this here. But imagine if you bought a stock today at $10 and all of a sudden a year from now it's at $100, right? That's a 10x return. That's a pretty substantial return on your investment. And that's what crowdfunding allows everyday Americans to do. So if you haven't checked it out, go check out the video that Greg's put together on the Net Capital side. I think that we've already put the link out there for everyone. Go look at what is happening with LaunchCart, because I can tell you right now, you do not want to miss this opportunity to get involved with this company as it scales up. And for comparison, let me just give you some quick comparisons. Shopify, when Greg and I were first getting this whole thing going, and he was building this and we did the initial investment, Shopify was worth about $10 billion at that point. During the height of its run in COVID, it went up to over a $200 billion valuation. So that's a 20x return on an already public company. Okay. Now, public companies don't generally get a 20x return, but private companies absolutely can. So that's exactly why we want you to go look at the Net Capital page for the crowdfunding site, learn a lot more about this. Of course, make an informed decision, talk to your advisors if you need to, but this is an opportunity for you to get in on the ground floor of a really substantial opportunity.
All right, cool. All right. Hey, thanks for that, Jeff. So here's what I want to do. How many people have ever heard of a gentleman by the name of Percy Master P. Miller? So he is our chairman of our board, and I've got a little, I'm going to get him. I got a little clip of him that I'm going to play here in a few minutes, but I do want to share my screen one more time. And I'm going to bring Dave back up for this too. So check this out. So a brand that recently was onboarded to Exchange Collective is a brand called Ann Nielsen. Ann Nielsen. And I want to show this because I went to Ann Nielsen. I'm looking at their site. I went to their store locator and look at this. So this is their store locator on their website. And you can see they did what I just said the people do, right? They went and they've got all these retail outlets carrying their products, right? But they also have an online store, right? So it doesn't, the more retail they have, the better, right? But there's a perfect example of somebody that went and got retail stores. This is store locators, blank slate design, wooden nickel, Adas, all over the mostly the East Coast. But if I come back here to their homepage and you go, okay, I'm on LaunchCart and I've got some print-on-demand T-shirts and some hoodies and some things like that. But I'd like to be able to sell some cool artwork. I'd like to be able to shop. I'd like to be able to sell some ornaments, some real cool products that's made in the USA, that's shipped from the USA. All these products could be available to put into your store. Candles, stockings, ornaments. And again, that they sell well. You know that this name must be a decent name brand to have, hundreds of retail outlets, carrying their product. So thanks for finding that, Dave, because I remember you showed this to me. I'm like, man, this is perfect because I have inspiration by God and I want to sell some of this stuff in inspiration by God. So I don't know if you have any comments on this, but this is one of many, right? Oh, you're muted, I think. Did you mute yourself?
Yeah, the one cool thing about, again, this integration, this partnership is this is a brand that connected to our platform via Shopify. They found us in the Shopify app store. They wanted to connect their brand. And so that's kind of like the really cool thing about this platform is that brands are organically finding this platform and they want to make their products available to more sellers. And so again, that's kind of the cool thing with this whole deal and how we've done it. And again, when you dive into the back-end user interface of the platform, which will be, very similar once we integrate it into LaunchCart, you can then go to this brand. You could search their products. You can select individually the ones that you want, or you can be like, hey, I want to take them all, and however you want to do that. And when they update their inventory and they put new things in there, those new products, if you have your settings set up, will automatically populate. So if you set a filter, I always want every product from Ann Nielsen home.
Ann Nielsen.
Anytime they load new products into the system via their Shopify app, they automatically will populate in your store. If you don't want that to happen, you could set settings where you go, no, I don't want the new products always to load. I want to hand pick the ones that I want because I never know what they're going to, they might make something you don't want. And that's what's really cool and powerful about the marketplace technology that we built. And again, as I'm sure you're all kind of putting all the puzzle pieces together of how cool this is with LaunchCart and Exchange Collective, how it all works to become a really powerful and not to overuse this word that's used all the time, but a disruptive technology in the e-commerce space right now. Because with the bigger platforms that are already existing, you have to download a bunch of apps, you're paying for everything, it's complicated, it's time consuming. And as a business owner that I've been my whole life, it's always been about creating simplicity and speed to market and getting things in front of the end consumer. And so, yeah, really excited about all this.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, so let me do this, everybody. I'm gonna give a little guest appearance that I had to show you, and then we're gonna finish off with Q&A. So here we go.
Yes, I just wanted to say hello to everybody. I'm in the middle of something, but I told Greg I wanted to hop on, and I really appreciate everybody on here. Greg is a wonderful guy. I mean, we've been knowing each other for a long time, and I feel like we're gonna take this brand to a whole nother level. I'm excited about it. I realize that we can compete with all the other companies out there. And then as chairman, I'm more grateful for this opportunity to be able to educate entrepreneurs and show them where I come from and how that we can take advantage of this opportunity with Lunch Cart. And I mean, it's exciting time because I look at what Shopify has done, and I know with everybody that we have that's involved with this, that we could take this to another level. So, Greg, I just want to let you guys know that me and Greg connected a long time ago, but I feel like this is bigger than us. I think that we're put here to leave a legacy here, and that my whole thing is I want to have a passion and a purpose behind everything that what I do. And my thing is, I feel like me and Greg connected spiritually, because my mission now is not only to make money, but to do stuff with a purpose and knowing that we putting God first. So I love the whole concept, and I know that with everybody using their expertise, this brand could be even bigger than we can imagine. So I'm glad to be on board. I know that Greg is excited about this, and he's been working hard, but I know that we do have something. So I just want to let you guys know that everybody on here makes a difference, and this is going to be a team family effort to where we know if we use our expertise and we passionate about this, that we will win. So thank you guys for being a part of this. As chairman, I'm going to do my part. I'm going to give 150%. And I think the most important thing for me is marketing. I feel like I'm a marketing genius. This is where my strengths come in at. And also being able to build economic empowerment, to be able to make a difference in other people's lives. So I just wanted to say hello to you guys, and I'm going to let you guys finish your meeting. But I'm glad to be aboard. And this is going to be fun and exciting journey that we're going to go on. So thank you guys.
All right. So humbled and grateful to have guys like that. And I think that goes back to, people with risk, what Bernt was talking about, risk reducers, celebrities, influencers. We have a bullpen of things that can help us out. So let's go ahead and take some questions and answers. I'm going to find them and pull them up. And if you guys got a question, here's the time to put them in there if you have anything. So let me say, so here's one for you, Dave. How many brands are using Exchange Collective so far?
Yeah, we have over 200 brand accounts created since, to date. Some are still in the onboarding process, but yeah, I mean, actively every month, there's probably about 100 brands that are active every month on the platform. And then equal number essentially of sales channels, which those are typically through Shopify and BigCommerce right now.
Okay. And then Tracy said, do you have to be an American resident to invest? I do not believe you do, Tracy. I think you can just go to the crowdfunding portal and create your account and fund your account, and you're in. To be honest with you, I don't know if there's a hiccup with that, but I don't think there's a problem with that. Maybe Jeff knows. I don't know.
So as far as I know, there isn't a limitation on that. It really just depends on if you can provide all the documentation that you need for Net Capital to make a determination of who you are, and then you can invest.
Yep. Okay. And then Eric also asked, how we go about selling your source and sell marketplace to brands. So this is kind of interesting about that. So the three people on this call, we're all business development people. We're all entrepreneurs. We all get stuff done. We're doers. We all have our own Rolodex. But then you have guys like Bernt and Percy, Master P. He sold 100 million albums. He's one of the most respected African Americans in the United States of America. He's running around the country right now with Snoop Dogg, launched a cereal company because he closed a deal with Post Cereal Brands. So we have the ability to get in the door with anybody, any celebrity, any brand, anywhere, anytime. So it comes back to us being strategic about the verticals that we're going to tackle one at a time. We are two early stage companies, so we don't have a lot of big team. That's why we're raising some capital with the crowdfunding campaign. And then that capital allows us to buy more traffic, get more customers, get more revenue, and continue to grow. And then we have to be strategic with our time and our energies on what we want to do next and what vertical we want to go after next. And for instance, I said earlier, and I really believe this is going to happen, but we're not 100% sure this, but I want to go after the golf industry because golf is hotter than it's ever been ever. And it's a high income sport, and there's a lot of need for what we have in the golf industry. But we're going to kind of evaluate that as we continue to finalize the merger, finalize our team, the integration of both of our teams and where we go. But we will first leverage our Rolodex. So Bernt Ullmann, I'll just tell you one quick story, and I'm going to go full screen for this. Bernt took me to a meeting in New York City with Iconic Brands Group. They had 39 brands that they own. 39 brands. Now, at the time, this is back in 2020, none of these brands were online. None of them. In 2020, not one of these 30, and these were big name brands. You would know them, and they have a whole different model. So I asked the guy, what do you want? And he was kind of another guy that coached me and mentored me going, what do you want? And he's helped me give me this vision of what Dave's built and what I had the vision for. They want a place where they can put all their brands in and get all the reporting and everything and all the supply side and all that kind of stuff going through there. They want one place to get the many touch points. And now we have that for them. So we have the ability to walk in the door and get meetings with people like that and onboard these kind of companies that have multiple brands. We're also working on a deal that involves Shaquille O'Neal, the Shaq backboards. And we thought, well, we got ABG Group that's with that licensing group. We can, there's just so many different avenues that we can go down, as well as, and Dave and I, or Jeff and I were talking about this yesterday. We're going to hire people. We're going to hire a team of business development salespeople that go out there and knock on doors and get paid money because we're going to charge brands and manufacturers to onboard them and bring them onto the platform. So that's how we're going to do it. I hope that answers your question, Eric. And then here's a good question. So, and this is something that Dave and I haven't talked about yet, but Tracy says, will this apply to people who want to sell digital courses as well? So my answer to that question is yes, we are going to figure out a solution to where we can have digital course creators list their stuff in the marketplace, just like it's a product of a t-shirt or whatever, click a button and it will be digitally downloaded. Why not have a digital download or a digital course marketplace? Of course, yes. Matter of fact, if somebody wants to write a check, we'll even give them the rights to do that. So, because that's the other thing. Let's not forget about the niche marketplaces. One of our strategies that we'll be implementing first quarter next year is who wants to have a niche marketplace? Who wants to have that Christian niche marketplace? Who wants to have that Patriot niche marketplace? Who wants to have that candle niche marketplace? You name the marketplace. And let's give them a weird example. Jeff, you talked to Baggy, and Dave, you talked to Baggy too. So check this out. Baggy manufactures backyard sheds and dog houses. He's got this amazing thing where he has people in that are in prison build them for him. Or what do the people in prison do so he gets his cost down? Do you remember, Jeff?
It literally is prison labor. They actually have prison working groups, and so these are people that are learning skills while they're in prison. Right? It's not like it's anything terrible. These are people that actually, they're able to work and build things, and so people contract the prisons to essentially use them to build things, and that's what he does.
So he says, I want to have a marketplace where I can list all my dog houses on one marketplace, and I want to have another marketplace. And then he goes, but I don't have other dog products. I don't have other dog leashes and dog collars and dog this and and pet products. She goes, but if I have these dog houses and I can come to the marketplace and fill it around with a whole bunch of other products, it's a perfect scenario. And so he wants to have these marketplaces. So he's going to pay us money to build a marketplace for him, and maybe 2 marketplaces for him. Right. So the idea is you say, hey, I've got this core product, or I got this core relationship. I want to have a marketplace. I want to leverage your guys' technology, and I want to own my marketplace. And when I mean marketplace, think of Amazon as a marketplace. Walmart.com is a marketplace. eBay.com is a marketplace. Etsy.com is a marketplace, right? So, and maybe it's a CBD marketplace. Maybe it's whatever that is. We power the ability for anyone to build and launch a marketplace. And you have a lot more experience with that. Dave, do you got any comments on that?
No, I mean, you kind of nailed it. I mean, yeah, Greg, you're kind of on the roll there. So, and I'm just reading through some of these other questions that are actually really interesting. I didn't want to kind of derail where you're going, but I'm looking at some of them, and one of them, let me scroll back up. Where did it go? How easy is it for smaller brands to connect? And sorry if I'm derailing it, but again, I'm sorry, here it is. Is this an acquisition, merger, or integration? This is an acquisition merger that we're putting into place. So this is not just an integration. Obviously, we're integrating our technology into this so that we can do all these things. But this is we're getting married as companies here. So yeah, I saw that one. It's been kind of been barking at me while you were going there, Greg. So I want to make sure we got that one addressed.
Now, here's a question too. So Brian asks, will business developers be offered royalties? So here's the thing we know about entrepreneurs, and especially me. If you know me, I'm a ready, fire, aim type guy. Now, Jeff, not so much.
I don't know if you quite get to the aim part sometimes, but yeah, we get a lot of stuff done. That's for sure.
Yeah, but we don't necessarily have all of the answers to all of the questions yet. We're going west and we're looking for gold, and we're building something that no one's ever built. No one's ever built an e-commerce platform completely integrated with a source and sell drop shipping marketplace with a split payment banking system. And eventually we're going to offer bank accounts. So you get a bank account, you can pay your bills, you can pay your rent, you can pay your utilities. And no one's had automatic upsells, automatic funnels, automatic one-click upsells, post-click upsells. No one's ever done this before. So we're going west. So we don't know that we don't necessarily have all the answers to all the questions. But here's what I do know. Entrepreneurs solve problems. That's what we do, right? So we will figure it out and we will get it done. And we're going to build a company that's going to make a mark on this planet. And we're going to empower entrepreneurs all over the globe. And we're going to help them with their digital marketing. So I saw a question way earlier about Go High Level. So we recently white labeled a CRM digital marketing technology, and we launched LaunchCart CRM. It's a white label version. We integrated with LaunchCart. Now, Go High Level just came out with their own e-commerce modules, but they nowhere have the feature sets that we have. And I talked to the founder of Go High Level, Sean, and I told him about what we're doing, Source to Sell Marketplace. He goes, well, if you integrate that, we'll help promote the heck out of it to all of our customers. So again, Go High Level is an integration with LaunchCart. So if you use LaunchCart's e-commerce platform, it'll feed all your customer data into your high level account. And whether it's a white label or not, doesn't matter. And then eventually you'll be able to, we're going to have modules and apps in their app store, just like we have an app in Shopify store. And you'll be able to source products and sell them from a high level funnel, a high level site, a high level blog, a high level account, and it'll go back through the marketplace. Now, I do want to distinguish one quick thing. If you're a Shopify seller right now, you can start using it right now. But some of the features that we're building into LaunchCart, Shopify will never let us do. Locking prices, locking photos. So you're going to have a much better solution and a much better experience on LaunchCart when we get this fully integrated than you ever will with Shopify or Magento or BigCommerce or anybody else. And we'll probably integrate with other ones because we want the distribution for the source and sell marketplace. But the feature set that we can do together, no one else will have in the world. And we're going west building something no one's ever built.
So I want to go over, there are a couple of things here. Dave, you started answering this. How easy would it be, like somebody wants to create the made in Italy brand, right? And they want to have that. That's like a marketplace in and of itself. So we could build a marketplace that's made in Italy.
Right.
If you wanted to create and bring those smaller producers on, that's exactly what we do, right? That's a complete integration. There's technology development that needs to go into that, but our team helps with that. And so it's just a matter of, these people that want to build their own marketplace, they would just have to come to us and make that request. And if it's something that they would have to pay for, right? That's the thing that's really important that everybody needs to understand here, is that we are able to build it, but we're not going to go build every single marketplace in the world. We're just going to build the ones that people really want and the people that would pay to have that technology built out.
Yeah, and kind of to expand on that again, the point is we've built the framework for a business, we'll call it a business now, to have a new tool to kind of really accelerate and speed up their speed to market from building out a site and a marketplace. And kind of one of the things we said in the early days, it's kind of like we're democratizing Amazon technology, right? Like, this is what Amazon's been doing for years. And look at we all know how big they are, right? And they're just a marketplace that are allowing people to list. And I've oversimplified what Amazon does from an e-commerce standpoint, but that's really what they've done. And now with LaunchCard and Exchange Collective together, we've really democratized that to allow someone to become a made in Italy marketplace, whether you're just a marketplace pulling in products that are made in Italy and you're connecting with those sellers or those suppliers, or you're creating the made in Italy products and you're pushing those out to other sellers,
Exactly.
and leveraging, again, the ecosystem of many, right? Instead of going, I'm going to just put my stuff on Amazon. Amazon's going to control me. I'm listing my products here and they're going to take their bazillion percent and, make me, jump through hoops. Whereas you can now put your product in really cool niche marketplaces, and that sort of thing. And then again, vice versa. Again, a lot of the retailers and sellers that use our platform, they're like, this is great. I'm like Amazon without having to spend billions of dollars building a technology. I sign up for you guys.
I want to give an analogy here because I think this might help simplify it a little bit. Everybody's familiar with the old strip malls and then the shopping malls where you'd go into one place and you would find all these different stores inside there. And you could buy, depending on the size of the mall, you could buy almost anything. Like Greg and I were in Dubai, and there's the largest mall in the world, and there's every retailer under the sun that's in there. And then there's these really, niche stores inside of there. So think of the marketplace of what we're building. This is the entire Exchange Collective is like the entire shopping mall, right? So you're gonna have all these different stores inside there. And then if you want to build your own store, you want to have your own little shop online in a little corner of the internet, then you can go into that shopping mall and you can say, I want products from Zoomies, I want products from Vans, I want products from here, and you can build your own store with it, right? Which is pretty stinking cool because now Amazon, it's hard to visualize it this way, but Amazon is like the largest shopping mall in the world. And what we're building is being able to pull those brands in, and then everybody can have their own little store. And then we haven't even talked about this. I keep hitting Greg over the head with this one, but it's something that's going to be in the future, which is the metaverse is coming. It's coming whether we like it or not, right? That Ready Player One society where people can then go and do virtual shopping in a virtual shopping mall. And that's essentially what we're putting together here is the starting point for that. And then it's going to expand. We're going to bring all these different brands. And eventually everybody who's on LaunchCard could have their own metaverse their own metaverse store, right? So these are some of the directions we got to go. But of course it's, crawl, walk, run before we actually get to all those amazing features.
Yeah, no, that's a good analogy too. I like that. So, okay, last call for questions. Let's see if you got any more questions. Let's see what Michelle says. Will this be available in our existing stores or will it be an add-on, different level? Okay, so that's a really good question. So there is going to be a monthly fee associated with having access to these products. And it just, it's part of the business model to get our stability for the company and the growth of the company, but it will work with any store, any plan you have. So there's a lot of people that have maybe a lifetime account with LaunchCard eCommerce. They'll still have to sign up for the source and sell sourcing side of things, and we're putting that all together, and we'll be rolling it out soon. And actually, I put together a form that I want to give you guys a form to sign up for. Jeff, I need you to do it because you're so much faster at me. So I created a form in the Source and Sell Marketplace CRM. And I just need to add it to a landing page real quick. And it's called the waiting list.
All right. Well, give me that one.
He'll put that together. The guy's lightning fast. Okay. So let's see what we have here. Lucius, I'm watching the beginning of David, and you know the rest of the story. That's awesome.
Oh, Ray has a question about the crypto. Did we talk about that at all?
Who a crypto?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Node.
Ray, we besides OpenNode, we're totally open to that. And again, it just goes back to human capital and use case. So there's a million things that we want to do and we can do, but here's how businessmen run companies, right? We have to go based on the customers we have now, find out what they want and give it to them. Well, our customer base, we're getting ready to go through 50,000 stores on LaunchCart. We're at like 49,860 or something like that. And 95% of them are all print on demand drop shipping sellers. So we're going to be working on more integrations and more products for that marketplace. But as we continue to expand, we have launchcart.mx. I want to go through all out South America, Latin America. And other people ask me all the time about different languages. And here's the easy and the hard part. The easy part's probably easy to have some technology change the wording so it's in French or it's in Spanish or it's translated to a different language. That's the easy part. The hard part is staffing up the support side. Because no matter what you do, no matter how great your technology is, you constantly have support tickets of people asking questions. So every language that we go into, now I have to have some, support people 24 hours a day to support that language. That comes with capital and growth and revenue. So obviously, we're here in the United States of America. We're going to be focusing on the United States of America. And we have people right now in over 188 different countries use LaunchCart right now today. So we already have that, but they're always typically English-speaking countries. But we're going to be working on different payment providers for sure, because the more payment providers we have, the more countries that opens up. And we're totally into having the ability to people use cryptocurrencies. Okay, let's see. Got that one. Carlene says, I told my son the virtual shopping retail would be the next big thing. Yep, you are correct. Okay, I don't see any other questions coming in. And Carmen, we really do plan on having, partnerships and licensing arrangements with different parts of the world. I've been talking with the king of Ghana, Africa, literally the king of Ghana, Africa. And he wants to take us into Ghana, and then he wants to help us take us through the whole continent of Africa. That's because this is such an exciting vision. So people want that. Okay, let's see what Glenn says. Glenn says, you mentioned previously that investors would get a subscription at the beneficial rate. If I remember correctly, how much do I need to invest access to get the discounted rates? Okay, so anybody who invests in the crowdfunding campaign, you're going to get one lifetime account for LaunchCart eCommerce. If you invest $5,000 in LaunchCart crowdfunding campaign or more, I'm going to give you a lifetime account to LaunchCart CRM. Okay. And I guess I'll step out there and say we'll include a connection to Source and Sell Marketplace with that. So you invest $5,000, you never have to pay for your Source and Sell Marketplace connection. They'll come with it, and it also gets launch ads with that as well. So you go make a $5,000 investment in the crowdfunding campaign, you get that, which is it's a smoking deal. You can't beat it. Okay. I love this comment. This has been awesome. Thank you. This replay will be up. The link that you guys registered will still be working. It'll be instant replay when we hang up. We're going to be sharing this and letting people know. And we're going to share a link any minute now with a form for you to get on a waiting list to say, I'm interested to become a seller. I'm interested in providing products for the Source Sell Marketplace. I'm interested in doing both. And you get on our waiting list to be the first one in the door. And I can promise you, the first ones in the door are going to get a better deal than the people that aren't the first ones in the door. So last call for questions, and then Jeff's getting that link for us. We gotta put Jeff on the timer. Yes.
I already put it in the private chat for you, but you didn't see it, so that's okay.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Thanks,
okay,
Lori. That's awesome.
Okay, so going here to comments. Here you guys go. There's the link. Source and Sell Marketplace.com/source -and-sell. And there's a little form there that you can fill out and you can get on the waiting list. You can be the first ones in this offering. Okay. All right. I think that's it. Keith Ward, thank you. Keith's also an investor. He was the first investor in the Launch Cart campaign. So Keith is a huge supporter of what we're doing. And thanks, Keith. And I love Keith brought to everyone's attention that we are capitalists. So as long as you sell something that's legal, we want to help you succeed. There's no cancel culture on our side of things. So, all right. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Carla. Oh, yeah. Rajit. So Ricky also invested. He put in 2,500. Now he's got to put another 2,500 to get that free account. That's what I'm talking about, Ricky. Okay. All right. Thanks, Monica. We appreciate you guys. Let's see. Here's another question from Eric. Sellers handle customer service inquiries and requests on products sold. So that's a good question. Dave, how do you answer who does customer service? Pretty simple to me, but let's see. I want to see how you answer because we have never talked about that.
Yeah, well, so when we've operated our company, we actually offered a service that they could pay for customer service, right? But typically, people that are using our platform, they're operating their store already. They already have customer service in place, and they're handling it themselves. We have for some of our sellers, they pay for a monthly service to handle customer service within our platform. And yeah, Greg, we haven't dove too deep into that, but most sellers are already selling and they're already doing their own customer service. So it's just kind of built in. And that's just kind of one of those agency models of if you needed additional services, sure, people can handle customer service for you. And that's how we've done it in the past with Exchange Collective and some of the Exchange Collective sellers that are utilizing other platforms like BigCommerce and Shopify.
Right. Yeah, no, and that would have been my answer. It's like, no, you do customer service for your store, for your site. Now, if there's an issue of something that came through the Source and Sell marketplace and the product wasn't the right size or didn't come through, then you as a customer of us come to us, and then we help you resolve that issue with your customer for what's going on.
Yeah, our platform, to expand on that, our platform does provide customer service to sellers if there's an issue with a supplier not shipping on time, the wrong product, whatever. They can reach out through us. We also provide direct connections to the sellers and suppliers, so they can communicate directly around issues as well.
Very cool.
Yeah.
No, and this has gone longer than I thought it would. So I think we're going to have to do another one of these next week, and we'll get more specifics about how, because we didn't even talk about how the banking works, about how the automatic payments go through and the ACH transfers. That's all part of the process that you have to set up when you get your account. You have to get your bank account tied in with your ACH transfers. And then therefore you don't ever have to worry about paying for goods. It's automatically paid, and it just takes another pain point off your plate. So PJ said, do you need to separate application for each website or store? In order to protect the brand, you could have Groovy Grandmas, and you could have, Greg's Gift Store, and Greg's Gift Store might get approved, but Groovy Grandmas might not get approved, right? So yes, you would have to apply for each retail, online seller store that you're gonna work with. Brett, the design marketplace, hit me up and support at launchcart.com. I'll answer your questions there, because we're going to wrap it up. I didn't realize we've been going an hour and 20 minutes. It's been going a lot longer than I thought, but we'll definitely answer your questions. And if you didn't get your credits, you can hit up support at launchcart.com. We'll get your credits. So Dave, you excited? I'm excited.
I'm pumped. Yeah, this is going to be fun. And I appreciate everyone being on this and the questions and the excitement. It just, for entrepreneurs like ourselves, Greg and I, this lights our fire. This gets us going, knowing that there's people behind us supporting this. And, the David and Goliath comment, that's right. We're going to fling that stone and we're going to take down that giant, and you're all coming along for the journey. So this is exciting for all of us, not just Greg and I. This is exciting for all of us.
Exactly. No, it's a movement. It's a movement. Yep. We want to change the game.
Awesome.
Okay. I want to say thanks, everybody. Stay tuned in your emails and the Facebook official groups and things of that nature. We'll do another call next week, more Q&A, maybe get a little bit deeper, because we'll be ready to onboard people. If you're a Shopify seller, we can start onboarding you right away. But we're just kind of getting this stuff rolling. We want to make the announcement. The press release that went out today. That's on our blog. So we're so excited. Thank you very much for your support. Let the world know that we exist. Tell your friends, your family about the. And again, going back to what Jeff Barnes said, did anyone ever get invited? Hey, Dave, did anyone call you up and ask you to invest in Google before Google was known to anybody? Right?
Nope.
You know who got the call to invest in Google? Tiger Woods got the call. That's what I was told. Tiger Woods got the call. I was told that Tiger Woods made 800 times on his money because he was one of the early investors in Google. And I'm just telling you guys, the small investor doesn't get the chance to invest in something. Now, you might lose all your money. We might go out of business. Like we have, as responsible professionals, we have to tell you there's risks, and you might lose all your money. But then you say, okay, what are the risk reducers? They're in business. They got customers. They're growing. They got a team. That they got Bernt Ullmann. They got Mass. All these different things, right? And the upside is just massive. It's just massive. And so we think we're very, very confident that we're going to create a great return for our investors. We want you guys on board. We want you to share it with everybody you know. So, all right, everybody, we're signing off. Have a great day and do what I do. Wake up every day with an attitude of gratitude and tell somebody you love them. Thanks, Dave.